There's a new study out of Harvard that says that men in the U.S. illegally, take a look at this chart, are more likely to be employed than their native-born counterparts. Of course, a lot of this has to do with their ability or willingness to take jobs regardless of how much they get paid. But startling numbers. Joining me now, Tammy Bruce and Dr. Herb London. Dr. London, we know part of Donald Trump's appeal is to a certain segment of white men who feel like the economy is passing them by. Maybe they had jobs where the new economy is taking over, but certainly also people look around and say, hey, you know, you've got a lot of people here who are doing jobs that Americans should be doing for higher wages. This kind of study sort of underscores that, doesn't it?
Well, I think it does, and I think by and large what you want is to recognize the distinction between the illegal and the legal immigrant. You also have to recognize the fact that if the economy is growing at, let's say, a 3 or 4% rate, which of course is unprecedented at the moment, then we would be able to accommodate immigrants of all kinds. But the argument that you would reward an immigrant with a job, an illegal immigrant with a job, because he has violated the sovereignty of this country is absurd on its face. The United States should be a country that allows for immigration, but legal immigration.
Tammy, I always argue, though, that I don't care how big the wall is or whatever, if we pay Americans not to work. I've seen so many able-bodied 27-year-old men not working, whether it's this program, that program, the crazy check, whatever it is. How can we stop? I mean, it's a void, and voids are filled.
Well, yeah, look, I mean, the percentage actually is extraordinary, that the illegal alien men are 12 points higher likely of having a job than their native counterparts. But let's also remember, it's not just white men who are displaced. You're looking at jobs that women would be taking, that women of color would be taking, single heads of households. They don't have those jobs either. So you're looking at a 50+% unemployment rate in that community. So this is why overall, when you see where the political dynamic is moving this cycle, this is why. So yes, there's a security component, but we're looking at also effectively the creation of a slave class. You're looking at people who will work for not a lot of money at all, a willingness for certain business to take advantage of that, and that also is against the American ideal. It's against American principles, and this is why America is saying, wait, this is not about, you know, really it's learned helplessness when it comes to the nature of what we're doing to Americans, and a condemnation of the future for this country if it continues.
But I am also worried, for instance, with entrepreneurship. From 1996 to 2014, it has changed so dramatically, where native-born, only 71% of these new businesses, down from 87%. Immigrants are almost 30%. It's okay. We like that, but what's happening to the native-born, Herb? What happened to us? What happened to the native-born Americans?
What happened, of course, is the Obamacare. What happened to regulations? What happened to mandates? Young people today do not want to go into business in large part because there are so many constraints on starting a business. You want an entrepreneurial spirit in America? Introduce the free market again. Give people the opportunity to get ahead.
Right.
And
stop all of these economic constraints that are imposed by government.
And where the immigrants are able to overcome that is when they're within their communities. You have the Korean community, communities that have money that is set aside specifically for members of their community. It's a great idea, but certainly the federal government's not doing that for others who are not within those kinds of networks.
It's amazing, guys. It really is amazing stuff, and I think it explains a lot what's going on in this presidential election cycle.